the dentist tells you. You know about that. Oh, you won't feel a thing. Anytime you see a doctor or a nurse coming at you, you say, this will hurt. You say, oh, yeah, it will too. So what they mean is they're not telling an untruth. They're just saying, I don't want this to hurt. I wish this wasn't going to hurt. But I really, with this, they just come up and say, this is going to be very painful. It's going to be very painful. All right, there are several things now that I've got planned to do up here. And I did, now that, I wanted to let her know that was going to sting a pretty good in there. And I hope it didn't bruise her hand. But I wanted to show you that she could do it. And it's not Superman stuff. That these boards can be broken by anybody. Let's see. Board right here. Let's see. Look around. I'm going to need another volunteer for this.
Yeah,
all of them left. Your dad back there saying, This fellow just raised his hand right here. Come on, right. What's your name, by the way? Arden? Nice hair, Arden. We're fixing to mess it up. Did you? Well, that's great. Stay right here and face me. And I want you to kind of lift your shoulders up just like that, okay? And bend over just a little bit. Okay, hold still. I want you to tighten up the muscles of your neck, right up here, okay? And lean forward just. Now, that did hurt, didn't it? Well, this kind of thing. You know, probably right there, there's a place where your skull bones kind of grow together, and your head's pretty hard. A lot of times, you know, it really tickles me after I've studied karate for a long time. On these cowboy shows or detective shows, they'll come up and they'll hit somebody and they'll just crumple right out. I had a second-degree black belt one time jump up in the air. He and I were sparring. He jumped up in the air, and I was so fascinated. I just said, wow. He kicked me right in the face. I said, oh. He was one of those kinds, he was kind of slight built. He just went boing, and he jumped. He jumped. And I said, man. And he kicked me right in the head. Right, a side snap kick. But you know, my head popped back like that. And I hit him 2 or 3 times before he ever hit the ground. Just went there. Like that. And so, I got an old hard head too. And I found out I could do a lot more in my head than just think. And Arden has proven that, yeah, you can't really just pop people. Now, Mike Tyson hits people and they just kind of crumble down. I don't know, but that's not natural at all. Let me show you something here. I don't know if you noticed, probably you did, that when I did the stack of 7 boards right here at the first of the demonstration, the boards were spaced. And, you know, if I were to take this board and just set it on the floor or on the block and hit it would probably just bounce up in the air. It wouldn't break at all. So what you do is you suspend it above the floor a little bit. And can anybody tell what these are from where you're sitting? They're dominoes. And I never did, to be honest with you, a lot of men in my community play dominoes. But I don't care if they're the game of dominoes myself. That doesn't mean it's a bad game. I just never have, I don't like games much at all. From monotony or whatever. But I used to play a lot with dominoes when I was a little boy. And the way I played with them is by setting them up in a row. And then I would touch the first one, and it would knock all the others down. Well, that's kind of the principle here. That's the way this works. If I stacked all of these boards together, flush with one another, it would be very difficult to break them. But here again is another thing that you learn about in karate, that you don't have to be particularly strong. I'm probably a lot stronger than Michelle is, but she can break a board too. Because I told her just basically kind of how you have to do it. Just a quick lesson right there. And she didn't have any idea of how to do that. You learn a little bit as you go, and so I like to explain. These are a lot of things that really aren't often explained at karate demonstrations. But I want you to learn a little bit about it tonight and maybe gather an interest in it. But I also want to kind of establish a rapport with you. So I want you to be able to see that I'm telling you some things that are really secrets tonight of the way people do demonstrations. There are 5 boards. Got them all but 2. Sometimes you have to really go at it hard. Now, before we go on to something else, let me pause just again and see if there's any questions that you have after we continue to go. Because I like to involve you as much as I can. All right. Here we go. Actually, I don't hit bricks with my head. But I said, let me look around. I need another ball. You've already done your thing tonight. So. Now let's see. What's your name? Ron. Ron? Come over here. Come right up here, Ron. I'll stand behind this just like the shade is. Don't give me that. I want to let you use your foot, okay? I want you to stand with your left foot behind this block. Are you right-handed? Okay. Play the piano? What I want you to do, what did you say? Ron, right? Okay. What I'm going to want you to do here, Ron, let me get this. I want this to set this right for you. Is I want you to come up so that you can come up right over this block and raise your knee as high as you can, okay? But keep your balance. Get where you feel like you're not going to fall forward or anything like that. I want you to come up and just stomp straight down. Right in the, has to be, don't step too close to this edge or that edge, but come with your heel right down in the middle, okay? And make sure your kick doesn't go out. Make sure you come up and you go straight down, okay? Can you do that? All right? All right, get up as close as you need to it, and when you feel comfortable, where you can get right up above it and bring your foot straight down. Now, Ronald could probably break that with his hand. It'd be harder though. I never have tried that in a demonstration, but when I do a big demonstration, I always like to let people come out of the audience, let them do the same things that I do. But it would take a lot of convincing to convince Ronald that he could break that with his hand. But that was the biggest problem with Michelle. And she probably hurt her hand more when she hit the board and it didn't break. You hit something and it just kind of bounced there. When you come through though and hit it that second time, and it does break when it goes completely through, you kind of have a release there. Now, I'm going to try to break these, and I'm going to show you that probably this is the most dangerous trick I do, because you see the concrete, it's just solid concrete. There's nothing tricky about these either. This is just a different color because it has some dye in these. But I always use a cloth with this, not to absorb impact, but that's just razor sharp right there. So this is probably the most dangerous stunt that I do. So. Thought that hurt. Boy, I'm always real